Before we get into this special weekend edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Mike Lindell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. RIZE Prevention is a nonprofit organization with the mission of building a drug-free generation. I got a number I want to share with you. 72%. 72% of teens turn to drugs before high school graduation. That number should bother everyone. On our guest line today, Martine Hello Allen, Executive Director and founder of RIZE Prevention, and Scott Mason, Program Director of the Beyond Genesis. And Scott, Martine, I want to welcome you to the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Let's just start, Martine, and just give us a quick summary of RIZE Prevention, the need, and why you started such an organization.
So, yes, you had mentioned that statistic of 72% of high schoolers. I mean, that is the reason why we do what we do, because we want to see that number plummet. There's no reason why that many teens are getting into substance use or even experimenting with substances by the time that they're a senior in high school. It's detrimental for them, and it's detrimental for our society. So RIZE Prevention exists for the mission of inspiring and equipping youth to rise above the influence of substance use and addiction. Ultimately, just wanting them to live their best lives. I mean, and we love them into greatness. We help them understand what addiction is really about, the science of it, but also we approach it from the heart. We approach it from our conviction that in order to turn this tide, you've got to get to the root of why are these young people self-medicating.
Yeah. Scott, talk with us a little, just sort of an introduction of your role at RIZE.
Yes, so I help a lot with our RIZE program, which is in middle schools. We serve many schools in the upstate and surrounding counties, and so I make sure that the program runs as smoothly as it's supposed to, make sure all the events happen as they're supposed to. But I don't do just that. I also work, as you mentioned at the top, with the Beyond Genesis 3 program, because we take a lot of the resources and the knowledge of what we do, the science behind it, and we package that in a faith-based program for churches, other faith-based organizations, and other nonprofits. So it's an amazing opportunity to work with youth, both in the public school setting and in the churches.
Yeah. Martine, your website has some pretty interesting statistics. 85% of students who participate in the RIZE program say it makes them want to live drug-free. What is keeping us from having every kid in the school system complete your program?
Joey, if you could find out that answer, I would give you $1 million. I think it's, we also have to understand RIZE Prevention is a public health organization. We are not an education organization. Our program is not delivered via a curriculum per se. And so I think that schools sometimes have a lot of pressure on them to fulfill academic requirements and standards from the state. They've got benchmarks that they need to achieve. And I also think it's just sheer knowledge, maybe of the lack of knowledge of our program and how what we do can also have a very positive impact on those benchmarks that principals and administrations and districts are asked to meet by the state. So I think it's just a matter of getting more of the word out there about what we do and showing them how, yes, we work on addiction and, drug and addiction prevention for youth, but that has a positive correlation, which we see in all kinds of studies, to helping the overall individual, the overall student by way of academic performance is increased, truancy is decreased, violence is decreased, all of those other factors that are also positively impacted. But I do think it's a matter of priority and it's a matter of awareness.
Yep. With me today, Martine Hellu-Allen, Executive Director of RIZE Prevention, and Scott Mason, Program Director of Beyond Genesis 3. For additional information, find them on their website, rizeprevention.org, rizeprevention.org. You can help by donating because it does take money to run these type programs, volunteering. And Martine, if someone who's listening today, a parent or grandparent or someone who's just interested in having RIZE in their child's school, what's the process?
The process is it's a little tricky, but our parents are our best advocates. So when parents approach schools and say, hey, I love this RIZE program, would love to have it in our school, them advocating for that is that first crucial step to getting the administration interested in what we're doing, having them reach out, and then we work with them in regards to their specific school district as to how that process will work for us to gain an MOU or permission, if you would, if necessary, to get into that school. It's very, very easy. We do not charge, so that's a limitation and a barrier that does not exist with our program, and schools are really happy about that. Schools are also happy about other features of the program, but parents really play a critical role in initiating that conversation.
Yeah. Scott, let's take a minute here and talk with us about Beyond Genesis 3. Tell us what that is.
Yes, so Beyond Genesis 3, the idea behind that is, as I mentioned earlier, taking what we do with RIZE Prevention, the knowledge we have, the science behind addiction, and packaging that for faith-based organizations and churches. Our tagline is that it's where the science of addiction meets the power of Christ. We know Christ has a lot to say about overcoming addiction, overcoming the things that we struggle with. And, unfortunately, these struggles with addictions, these things our youth faces, these challenges, it's felt by the community and society as a whole. It's felt by local communities. And so for us to say or act like it's not felt by the churches or that it doesn't affect the church, unfortunately, is sticking our head in the sand a little bit. And so what we do, because we also understand that for an organization, for a pastor to come up and talk about substance use and drugs, it's kind of a hard conversation to have. But we also understand statistically the majority of pastors surveyed would say that they either know someone in their congregation that is dealing with a substance use disorder or that they are personally affected by someone in their family with one. We understand that conversation needs to be had. And so what we do at RIZE Prevention through our Beyond Genesis 3 program is we kind of help supplement that conversation and get that conversation going within the church. And so we talk about the dangers of addiction. We talk about how that affects us. We talk about how that affects our relationship with Christ. We offer presentations. We offer Bible studies. We offer youth group games, times where we come out and run a youth group and have a time where we can have group discussions and really just get that conversation started. But we don't like to get the conversation started and walk away and say, all right, now you deal with the fallout of what those conversations lead. We'll stick around and help guide and be a resource for whatever doors open up when those conversations get started.
Yeah. Martine Hellu-Allen is with me today along with Scott Mason, and we're talking about RIZE Prevention and their wonderful programs. Their website is rizeprevention.org, rizeprevention.org. Martine, talk with us a bit about how many students you typically serve in a school year.
So typically, every year it's typical for us that we serve more and more students. So this year we're looking at serving a minimum of 10,000, and more than likely we will serve 15,000 students this year. So
Wow.
That's a combination of our middle school program, but also with our high school program. So we are a member of the Power Collective here in Greenville, and that is a wonderful collaborative effort among 10 different organizations to get out the word in regards to fentanyl and opioid poisonings and overdoses. So we take that message to high schoolers and then tie in the fact that, vaping, marijuana usage, alcohol usage, these are all pathways to ultimately, unfortunately, as proven by data, leading to more hard illicit substances, most of which it would involve fentanyl. So we're looking at about 15,000 students, Joey, Lord willing, this year.
Wow, that is amazing. Now, you mentioned your middle school program. your high school program. Talk with us about how you approach middle schoolers as opposed to high schoolers.
Well, it's their place in the world, you know what I mean, where they are in their age, and what they're facing. You know, even the conversation, but with a sixth grader is different than the conversation with an eighth grader.
Yeah.
You know, because you've got to meet them, you know, with the cliche statement is meet them where they are, but you've got to find out what's affecting them, because you have to turn that conversation, that science of addiction, you have to translate that into something that they can understand, something that they can apply in their life, and something that they believe is relevant to them, right? So the conversation with middle schoolers, you know, is very much about prevention. It's very much about never start, you know, don't even ever touch it. Why would you? The root reasons why people start using substances, whereas with the high schoolers, they've already, most of them, been exposed. Yeah. When we look at the data, it's no longer like just prevention. It's a lot of times intervention.
Wow.
And speaking that hard truth to them about that and how they can make that correction, which is where our one-on-one coaching comes in. And we get a lot of high schoolers who come to us for one-on-one coaching because they are in the throes of the struggle of addiction, and we've compelled them to reach out for help. And that's one of our fortes.
Sure. Yeah. Scott, you guys have a special event coming up August the 23rd. Give us the details on that.
Yes, this is going to be a very powerful event. It's called the Way Forum. This event is for the community. It is a faith-based event, so for the community, churches, really anyone that wants to come out. It's a free event. And we're going to talk about really the three most destructive, really, habits, addictions that our youth is facing today. And we're going to have those in a special setting where we have some experts come out and have an open time to discuss and share those things, specifically being pornography, social media addiction, and substance use disorder. Young people start with those way too early, and it destroys and it affects and it overtakes the rest of their lives if they're not careful. So we'll have those speakers. We'll have a Q&A. So for those in the community that want to know how they can protect their youth, how they can be forward-thinking, how they can be ahead of these issues, they can ask those questions. Maybe they have someone they know who's struggling. Maybe they want to ask questions on how to give them the most help that they can receive. And then we also have at the very end an entire resource fair where we'll have tables, other organizations, other nonprofits, schools, churches, youth organizations, anything that the community would say, hey, I need help, I need to connect, this is what I'm dealing with, where can I go from here? That resource fair will be a great time. So that'll be August 23rd from 9 to 12:30 at Five Forks Methodist Church in Malden. And for those who want to sign up for that, they can check out our social medias at RIZE Prevention, and they can see our flyer there and sign up and come join us out. It'll be a great time.
Yeah. Martine, is there a cost for attending this, or just whoever wants to come can come?
Whoever wants to come can come. And, you know, there's no cost, but the benefit is huge. Joey, if I could just express my heart right now, when we work with so many teens, and we even work with families in regards to helping them overcome addictions and destructive behaviors, what we find is the common thread is their relationship with the Lord.
Yeah.
And the restoration of that is so critical. Christ is the answer. He always has been, always will be. And there's no reason at all why Christ cannot enter this conversation that we will be having on the 23rd, about fixing the cultural norms that are so destructive. Every single one of the societal ills that we want to fix here in the upstate of South Carolina, there's one common denominator, and that's addiction.
Yep. It's the Way Forum, and it's August 23rd, 9 a.m. to 12:30 at Five Forks Methodist Church in Malden. Just go to rizeprevention.org and check out all the details. Scott, Martine, it's been a pleasure. Appreciate you what you do in our community, working with these kids, and just wish you a lot of success with this special event. And as we head into a new school year, and we hope to check back with you again very soon.
Thank you,
Thank
Joey.
you.
We so appreciate your constant support and your belief in what we do.
Well,
Thank you.
It is a pleasure, and I'm just proud of what you guys are doing and appreciate what you do as well. Martine Hellu-Allen, Executive Director of RIZE Prevention, and Scott Mason, Program Director of the Beyond Genesis 3 program. Thank you so much. Your comments are welcome on the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. That's it for this special weekend edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.